What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we are checking out the Mesa triple rectifier multi-watt. Let's do it! Alright guys, hope you're doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and what I do is I take awesome high-gain amplifiers, guitars, cabs, speakers, pickups, overdrives, all sorts of stuff. I record them with a simple SM57 setup, and I give you guys the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into E standard thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and dudes with constant lens flare in their glasses, you're in the right place. Consider hitting the like button on the way out and subscribing so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks! Alright guys, so as mentioned, today we are taking a look at the Mesa triple rectifier multi-watt head. If you've been around my channel for a minute, you know that originally, and for the longest time, I was not a fan of any of the Mesa rectifier series at all, basically up until the Badlander came out. And then after the Badlander came out, I kind of started figuring out the older models of the rectifier, but the one that really got me was the dual rectifier multi-watt, which is sitting over my shoulder behind me here. That is the rectifier that truly won me over for the first time. I really think that that one had the most aggression. It sounded the best to my ears for my personal style, and I was able to get it to do what I want. And subsequently, I've been able to find ways to get most of the other rectifiers that have come through my hands since then to sound good as well. So I just happened to come across this triple rectifier for a local sale, and being that a lot of people have asked me my thoughts on the multi-watt triple rectifier versus the dual rectifier, I decided to pick it up so I could make a quick video for you guys. Now there is really no need for me to do a comparison of the multi-watt triple and the multi-watt dual because to my ears they sound pretty much identical. The main differences are going to be a 150 versus a 100 watt power section, but most people are probably going to be using these on the 50 watt power settings for the most part because these rectifiers are known for just getting stupidly loud very quickly on that master volume, and putting it in that 50 watt mode just kind of warms the amp up just a tad, and it seems to really tame that master volume sweep and make it a little bit more usable. So overall, I'm gonna stick to the 50 watt for most of the video, but yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to go over. That intro clip that you guys heard, I was using my Balaguer Typhon with a Seymour Duncan distortion in the bridge. I was boosting the amp with a Friedman Buxom boost. We are going through a Mesa traditional 4x12 cab with the stock vintage 30s. So yeah, I'm gonna take you to the crunch or the green channel really quickly, and then we're gonna move back over to the orange channel, which is where I tend to live on these amps, and finally we'll check out the red channel. But we got a lot of ground to cover, so let's go ahead and do that. It needs a little bit of presence to my ears, and it needs to have the bass dialed back. Let's also get a little bit of mid on that. And just like that, we have a pretty convincing classic rock style of crunch tone. I'm actually gonna pull that bass back even more. I'm gonna push that mid up even more and add just a little bit of gain. All right, so as you can tell, we can get a really good classic rock sound out of the push setting on this channel. I'm not gonna mess with it too much more, but just know that if you're the gigging guitarist and you don't think that Rectifier can kind of do the classic rock settings convincingly, well, I really think that the push setting on these multi-watts sounds fantastic. And obviously, if you spend a little bit more time shaping it, if you have a different guitar with a lower output pickup and maybe a boost to kind of tighten things up even more, you can really get some great rock and roll tones out of this thing. So yeah, let's move over to the stuff that people actually care about, the high gain. All right guys, so we're back on the orange channel. For this video, we are gonna skip the raw settings on both of the gain channels because even though they sound good, they're just not particularly my taste, and I kinda wanna spend my time on this video getting into the sounds that I know that the viewers of this channel are going to like, so let's do that. Everything is at noon on this channel, including the gain, and here's what we got. All right, so kind of picking up where the push setting left off, we want to go ahead, we want to push that gain up real quick, right to noon. And just like that, the amp fills out considerably. On this orange channel, we do have the negative feedback section of the power section of this amp engaged. On the red channel, that's taken out. Pretty common knowledge if you're a big Rectifier fan, but yeah, the orange channel is naturally just gonna be a little bit warmer and not quite as bright up top. So we're gonna go ahead and add some presence to kind of bring the blanket off the speakers here. All right, so as it is now, we got that kind of standard Rectifier sound. The mids are a little bit scooped, especially up top. It is bright up top and it's got a lot of just thick low end going on. I'm gonna go ahead and push those mids up a little bit. We're gonna push that gain up just a tad as well. Wow, completely missed that open string there. Yeah, as you can see, it's very fat sounding, it's very present up top, it's lacking some mid content. I'm gonna show you a quick trick how to really get the mids to come forward on this amp, and that is by dialing the treble all the way down. This works on pretty much every Rectifier. It also works on some Soldano and Splon amplifiers. See how much more forward the mids are? It's actually crazy, but it doesn't sound muffled by dialing the treble all the way down. I'm not exactly sure why it does that on some of these circuits, but all I know is I think it sounds much better like that. We can actually kind of pull the mids back a little bit. Yeah, as you can see, the mids are way more forward and it's actually making the amp a little bit louder because the mids are pushed so much. I gotta adjust that master volume. One thing that I typically do is add a little bit more presence because this kind of brings some of that top end bite back. Again, it doesn't make it muffled, but the mids become so accentuated that they're almost overpowering. And that sounds really good as is. We're gonna add a little bit more gain and we're gonna play a riff. So, as is, it sounds good, but the bass is still a little bit tubby for my liking, and overall, it's got kind of just a round character to the EQ. So, we're gonna kick on this Boss SD1 because I call this pedal the Clankifier. This immediately adds clank to round amps. It really kind of makes those palm mutes sound much more tight and aggressive. That sounds awesome to me. I really, really like the way that sounds. Let's actually hear those same settings in drop C real quick for a quick hardcore riff. Quick, 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 quick. All right, that is a massive, just mean sounding hardcore tone. Really, really digging that in drop C actually. If we rolled the bass back just a tad and maybe rolled the highs from the pedal back just a little bit, I think it would sound a little bit more balanced. Let's do that real quick and then we'll move to the modern setting. Sounds great like that, but we're gonna go ahead and go over to the modern setting. I'm gonna have to pull the volume down a little bit. We're going to turn that overdrive off and we're gonna put the EQ controls back at noon here. And I'm gonna pull that gain back down to about 9 o'clock. Not my thing personally. Let's go ahead and push the gain up though, because it's sounding a little bit dry. All right, yeah, I'm not liking that at all. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull that bass back a good bit. We're gonna bump those mids up and pull the treble back just a tad. Ugh. Yeah, it's still, I mean, it's getting better, but it's just, I've never really liked the modern channel, especially on these 3-channel rectifiers. It just accentuates everything I don't like about the rectifiers. All right, so it's still scoopy. Let's do that treble at 0 trick again. And there we go, we have some mid content finally. Let's get that presence up. So on the modern setting, it definitely doesn't add enough presence with the treble rolled back to 0 to not make it sound muffled. Yeah, man, I just cannot get into the modern setting on these amps. Let's kick that SD1 on again and see if we can kind of fix some of those issues with this thing. Yeah, man, it's just harsh. It's muffled at the same time. It's very guttural sounding. It's just not my personal tone, but that's all in D standard. And now we're back up to E standard. I like that better, but the low end is still definitely unruly. The top end is definitely kind of bright. Let's turn the top or the treble down a tad and the presence back up a little bit. I actually like that quite a bit. In standard, it's doing a lot better. All right, right, so not my favorite, but definitely not as bad as it was in drop C. Let's head over to the red channel real quick. We'll check that out as fast as we can and we'll get out of here. All right, guys, so we're now on the red channel. I have it dialed in exactly the same as I had the orange channel dialed in on the modern setting, and we are gonna go ahead and hear the differences between the two. So as you can tell, the presence is just more. There's a lot more presence going on. The low end is definitely still there, but it doesn't seem to be quite as over the top. It's like not as woofy. I'm gonna go ahead and pump these mids up a little bit. I'm liking this channel a good bit better than I was on the modern setting on the orange channel. Let's do the treble at 0 trick over here now. So because the negative feedback circuit is taken out of the red channel, we have a lot more range in our presence, which makes it brighter overall, and it feels way tighter to me. So I'm actually liking the red channel on here quite a bit. The gain feels more fluid as well. I'm gonna pull this bass back just a tad, just a little bit. And we're gonna try the M77 Overdrive because this one adds a little bit of a rounder mid content. Not as clear, but I'm liking the mid content on that a good bit more. Let's kick on the Electric Eye Mud Killer because I just really like this overdrive in general. Let's turn that tight knob up a little bit. All right, I like this. Let's get a little bit more presence at a little bit more low end. Who said a triple rectifier can't be a thrash amp? It wasn't me. Let's flip over to that 100 watt or 150 watt setting real quick, just to show you guys the difference that the power section makes. I'm gonna come back down on the volume just a tad. So it seems a little bit colder, a little bit stiffer. Not a huge difference though. I am liking what I'm hearing. Let's get a little tad more volume and a little bit more tone out of the pedal. All right, let's go back down to drop C. All right, so we're gonna roll up those mids a little bit more. We're gonna roll that bass back a little bit and get just a tad more gain. Let's go over to vintage real quick. All right, we're on vintage. It's quite a bit brighter with less bass. Let's get that bass. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me today on the Mesa dual rectifier, triple rectifier, multi-watt. What did you guys think? Do you have any experience with this amp? Did you think that I got good tones out of it, or did it sound like doo-doo to you? Let me know down in the comments and I'll be sure to meet you down there to chat about it. I freaking love this thing. I love the multi-watt rectifiers. I think that they are fantastic. And if you want to argue about it, go ahead, comments, do it. This video is already way too long, so if you want to support the channel, all my affiliate links, all my merch is below in the description of this video. If you want to support what I do here, I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out if you like the video, and subscribe so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time. You know what this wall is missing? Another amp. There we go.